Church.
These hands, these feet, these eyes that seek to find their hope in you. I'm made in your image. I'm made in your image. This heart that beats, this mouth that speaks more and more like you. I'm made in your image. I'm made in your image. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. And you know what you're doing in me. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. And you know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. These hands, these feet, these eyes that seek to find their hope in you. I'm made in your image. I'm made in your image. This heart that beats, this mouth that speaks more and more like you. I'm made in your image. I'm made in your image. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. 'Cause you are the potter and I am the clay. You're molding me, shaping me every day. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. And you know what you're doing in me. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. And you know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. In your image I am made. You made me special. You made me precious. You made me wonderful. You made me special. You made me precious. You made me wonderful. In your image I am made. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. And you know what you're doing in me. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. And you know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made. Oh, in your image I am made. In your image I am made. I'm trusting in the Lord on the day-to-day, picking up strength all along the way. And you know what you're doing in me. In your image I am made.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here with us this morning. Do you remember what we've been talking about for the past few weeks? Parables, that's right. And last week, Miss Jessica shared about the parable of the sower. Well, today I get to talk about the parable of the mustard seed. Have you seen what a mustard seed looks like? They are tiny. Look how tiny this little mustard seed is. And even though they're this tiny, when they're planted, after it grows and grows, it becomes a large tree. You know, Jesus once told a parable comparing this little seed to the kingdom of God. In Matthew 13, verses 31 through 32, says, here is another illustration Jesus used. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed planted in a field. It is the smallest of seeds, but it becomes the largest of garden plants it grows into a tree, and birds come and make nests in its branches. What? How is that a picture of God's kingdom? Well, when Jesus first began sharing about God and his kingdom, he didn't have any followers. It was just him. And so Jesus began walking, and he found some people, some disciples, and he called each of them by name and said, "Come, follow me." And all of them dropped what they're doing and they followed Jesus until he had his 12 disciples. He had 12 followers now. And then Jesus told them to go, sent them out, and then all 12 of the disciples brought more people to follow Jesus. And that grew the kingdom of God. God's kingdom had grown. So some of the people that followed Jesus didn't think they were important enough to help. And this is how some people in churches feel now. Some people think that they're too old to help, or that they're too little to help, or the little bit that they have done to help doesn't matter. Or some people think that their church is too small and no one will come to want to learn about God. But Jesus wants everyone to know. He wanted the people back then to know. He wants the people now to know, and the people in the future to know that everything you do to help others is important. No matter how small it is or how big it is, he wants you to know that it is all important. And so, since every follower of Jesus is part of the kingdom, that means that every single one of you and me are part of God's kingdom. And each time that we share about Jesus, we share our favorite story from the Bible, or we share our favorite worship song, or worship with others, we are helping to grow the kingdom. Isn't that so cool to know that we can have a part in growing God's kingdom? I think so. Jesus said, the kingdom of God is like a mustard seed. It may seem small in the beginning, but wait. And someday it'll be very, very, very big. Keep doing the little things and God will make them grow. Remember, Jesus started off as one person sharing about God and his kingdom. And it went to 12 and times that and bigger and bigger. And now people all over the world share about Jesus and God and his kingdom. Remember, even if you start off helping others by something small, that God can make that grow and grow until it becomes something big for you to help others. Remember, everything you do is important. And don't forget that God can make anything grow from what you're doing. Have a great week.
Good morning, everyone. Miss Amanda talked to you about the mustard seed, and I have some of those today. I know they're pretty small. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of bright and chilly today. It's a very strange day for April. Anyway, I wanted to do a craft. So all we're doing is we're taking a piece of paper. You can cut it into like the size of a bookmark or like a magnet, something that you can put somewhere that you'll remember. And all you're going to do is draw a tree, right? Because we're talking about how God takes our small little bits of faith and he can do great big things with it, right? He can take our being kind to maybe somebody at school who's having a hard time, or treating our brother or sister with kindness, or talking to a friend about Jesus. He can take those little things and make big things happen, right? Jesus even said, like, if you even have the faith of a mustard seed, you can look at that mountain and say, go, and it will go, right? Like, that's pretty amazing. So all you're going to do is you're going to paint a tree, and then we're going to put a mustard seed down at the bottom if you have it. If you don't have one, they're so tiny. If you don't have one, you can just paint one, okay? So I'm just going to do that. Now, this is our foster chicken. Her name is June. Well, we hope it's a her. Anyway. And I thought that maybe she would want to eat some mustard seeds, but apparently she just wants to make chicken footprints. Oh my gosh. On my painting. So now I'm just going to let this dry, and then we'll add a mustard seed to the bottom. All right. Last time I painted with you guys, I think my cat got cat prints in the paint, and this time our chicken got chicken prints in our paint. So as you can see, I just did watercolor, really simple. There's the trunk of the tree, there's some green for leaves, here are the roots. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue, just going to put a little dab right there, and take a little mustard seed and put it right there and let it dry. Let's see if you can see that. See, just a little tiny mustard seed, but it grows into a giant tree. Then you can add words on the front or on the back that says things like, God can do great things with small bits of faith. And so that is what we want to know. Well, if that's what we want to do, and we want to know it deep in our hearts, that God can take our small things and make them great. We love you guys, and we hope that you have a good week.